Konnichiwa lads, I hope you're doing well despite whatever quarantine you find yourself in. Obviously I'm in Japan so I'm quite used to it now, but I hope you're doing okay. Today I'm going to tell you a little about Orpheus and Eurydice in Mythology and how they have been translated into the game Hades. I'm going to couple them together because I'm sure they'd love it, as they were a pair in life and in death, and their tale is very much intertwined. I'm going to start with Orpheus, a mythological character of dubious quality, who most likely didn't exist, according to my favourite Goss merchant Herodotus, and Alexander's tutor Aristotle. What we do know about Orpheus is that he's connected to a movement called Orphism. This movement regards Hellenic religion and informs a lot of ancient and secondary writers' knowledge on the Hellenic pantheon and worship. A lot of this work was attributed to an author known as Orpheus, thus giving us the author's name and such works as the Orphic hymn, his main body of work. For the most part though, this was just a religious cult. Orpheus's sources differ greatly from Hesiod, Homer and Herodotus. For instance, Hesiod's creation of humanity differs significantly from Orpheus's. I do suggest you read it, it's very interesting. In addition, this Orphic tradition is something that the game has taken the piss out of, where applicable.
Form up!
Hey, Orpheus, you know I've just been messing with you with those Dionysus tales and all that. Just trying to liven things up for us, mate.
Oh, Zagreus, there isn't need for such humility. Not when one's deeds of heroism are as great and numerous as yours. It is an honor to have heard such deeds firsthand.
I was kidding. Seriously.
Choosing other Hellenic versions, such as Zagreus' origin, depicting him as the son of Persephone, rather than the dismembered part of Dionysus that I think he should be. Orpheus is most famously depicted in Virgil's Georgics, Book 4. You should read it if you're interested and you want to hear a bit more from someone who isn't Welsh. Obviously, I'm not quite as good as Virgil, no matter how hard I try. Although Virgil is a dirty Roman, certainly not a good Greek. Orpheus was a famous virtuoso according to Virgil. He potentially hailed from Egypt, as at the time, Egyptians were spreading across the Persian world. Obviously, take this with a bit of a pinch of salt, but it's a theory as Egyptian priests were said to be moving around quite a lot at this time. Orpheus' father is also said to be a Thracian king, with his mother said to be a nymph. So, insert your own fanfiction here. However, him hailing from Egypt does explain partly why he joined Jason and the Argonauts from Egypt to find the Golden Fleece, and it's an interesting story on euhemerism, whether mythology is created to tell history or just as a story. Orpheus is a rather recurring character within a lot of Greek mythology, and he's a very interesting character at that. He's involved in the Heracles myth, through his brother teaching the Kythera to Heracles. He's involved with Jason in the Argonauts' quest to find the Golden Fleece, and he's involved with King Midas, another famous story from Greek mythology. Orpheus' music was said to be so beautiful that it could charm the ocean and the sirens. This is an allegory for the Greeks' magical love for music and their belief that music has an unnatural sway over the soul. If we move on from our boy David Bowie, we have Eurydice, a forest nymph who is obviously a mythological character, unless there's fucking nymphs around and nobody's fucking told me, in which case where the fuck are you hiding them? Orpheus married Eurydice upon his return from his quest for the Golden Fleece. However, their happiness didn't last. A satyr, or demigod depending on the version, by the name of Aristaeus, attempted to rape Eurydice. As she fled, however, she stepped on a poisonous viper and died, as people are wont to do in Greek tales. Something convenient always happens. Orpheus, already a scene kid, was more than happy to follow his love to Hades. He charmed Cerberus and Charon with his Kythera playing beautiful music, much like we, as Zagreus, charm them with food and gold. Orpheus met Hades and Persephone, charming them through his beautiful music to give him the opportunity to rescue his beloved. Hades made one guileful condition, however. Orpheus could free his love, and her shadow would follow him up to the mortal realm. But he, nor her, could look back and check behind them. Obviously, our neurotic but incredibly energetic bard agreed readily, but it was not within his character realistically to not anxiously look back, and Hades knew this. Along the borders of the river Styx, having not heard footsteps, Orpheus looked back to see his love. As he did so, she was violently grabbed and cast down to hell once more. Sounds a lot like Dante's Inferno, if you ask me, Dante. Upon his failed quest, Orpheus returned to Thrace, distraught, crestfallen and broken. He never sang or played the Kythara again. Dionysus' followers discovered him and slew him for a myriad of reasons, but I'll list them for you now. Either because he insulted Dionysus, which who wouldn't, because he was a miserable fucker, which if you've met Orpheus you know he is a miserable fucker, or because he wasn't gay enough, depending on which version you read. Rest in peace our boyo David Bowie. Now, quick sum up, I'm going with the version Aeschylus did, that he was slain under the orders by the jealous god Dionysus, because Orpheus had insulted Dionysus as a worshipper of Apollo, but also because Dionysus was and is a bit of a dickhead. Also a pisshead, don't forget pisshead. Orpheus was torn apart in a bitter fit of irony as the way he described Zagreus and Dionysus being formed. He was dismembered entirely. His head was cast to Lesbos, where supposedly he still sings of his love to this day. An oracle was created on the island of Lesbos to honour him, and Zeus created a constellation in honour of Apollo's favoured musician. Upon his death, Orpheus was cast back to Hades, and punished by Hades for not singing, as obviously he was forlorn and melancholy, and had no interest in playing his Kythara again. Thus, we, as Zagreus, meet our boy after freeing him from his punishment, forlorn and missing his wife still, with no interest in doing anything. With regards to how he's been translated into game, I think Orpheus' depiction is perfect from SuperGiant Games. He's melancholy, talented, but lacking in motivation. He wears Thracian garb, which you will recognise if you look at any 4th century BC red pottery. He no longer wears his hair in curls, as he would have in life, demonstrating his complete disinterest in day-to-day tasks, and his crushing depression at the loss of his wife. You'll notice I haven't actually talked much about Eurydice at all, and there is a reason for that. The reason is that she's mostly an attachment to the Orpheus myth. She has unique parentage, and that's about it. She's a blank slate, effectively. I am happy that SuperGiant Games have taken a lot of liberties with her personality, musical ability, character design and interaction story. It's very rare to have a blank slate within such a complex, overwritten field such as Greek mythology, and they've done really well with that. She's a pleasure to meet, and you can see why Orpheus not only views her as a muse, but also as a lover. As ever guys, tell me who you want me to do next. I'm thinking the Furies, but it'd be nice to get some feedback to let me know. Did you find any of this mythology interesting? Is there something I haven't said that I should have? Let me know in the comments. As ever, smash that motherfucking like button, subscribe for more if you want more mythology and Hades related information. Ta-ra lads, take care.